Well, Jenna, the Steelers are who I thought they were. All right, I've been writing them off, but not completely. Like I've said, they're tough, they're hard-nosed, they're well-coached, and they're very flawed and a bit immature, as you can see from Chase Claypool. And that's just enough to keep them in the hunt, but they don't get the grand prize, which is a playoff spot. At this point, they're fighting for, in my book, they're not going to make the playoffs, and they're fighting to keep Mike Tomlin from experiencing the first losing season of his career. I mean, I don't think they're thinking that way, but when I look at the Steelers, that's what I'm thinking. And good news for Tomlin, I do think he will avoid that losing season. I think they finish 8-1. All right? I think they'll beat the Titans next week, then lose to the Chiefs, and then split with the Browns and the Ravens. And so Pittsburgh, that's what I expect them to do. And last night's game was kind of a microcosm of their entire season. While it's like they're good, just good enough to make it respectable. All right? And Big Ben, who was bad, didn't do much in the first half. Second half was great. We saw that last week against the Ravens as well. And the last play of the game, where he threw it to Freiermuth, the rookie tight end, Pat Freiermuth. I mean, you could not have thrown the football any better. He placed it between three defenders. Freiermuth made a great try. There it is. But you can't see from that angle. But Harrison Smith made a great play and knocked it out. It wasn't like Freiermuth dropped it because he thought he was going to get hit. But Smith knocked it out. Great play by him. But that's what the Steelers are. They're close but no cigar. And so I think it'll be a respectable season for them, but no playoffs and obviously no chance to do anything spectacular this season.
Yeah, but I'd be a little scared to play them. Like if you think they're going to beat the Titans, Nick, if I was the Chiefs, I'd be scared to play them because you don't quite know what you're going to get.
Of course you would.
Did you get first half Big Ben where it looks like, man, should he retire in the middle of the game? And then second half Big Ben, like, oh, old school Big Ben is back. So I think they're a very dangerous team. And I want to throw it to you I want to talk quickly about Chase Claypool. Chase, buddy, like, in general, just lean towards inaction. It's like we have a bias towards action. I think it's like Google's thing. It's like when there's an opportunity to do something, let's do it. Let's have a bias towards action. Chase needs to go the other way. Hey, Chase, what do you think about Steelers practice? Let's play some music. It'd be more fun. Don't say that. When he got the unnecessary roughness penalty that Jenna mentioned was a finger. It was the pointer finger. He got hit when he got picked up. It was a finger he got unnecessary roughness. How do you get an unnecessary roughness of a finger? And then the final first, and when you're like making the first down marker, you're doing too much, man. You're doing too much. Like, give me a break. So I don't know if it's a lack of maturity that Tomlin has in the team. I don't buy that. It seems like specifically a Claypool issue. I'm surprised Tomlin hasn't stamped it out, to be honest with you.
Okay, on the Claypool thing, if I am listing the 10 biggest reasons the Steelers lost this game, Chase Claypool's is wasting 4 seconds at the end does not make the top 10. Was it dumb? Sure. But the idea that a team that was, let's just go through it real quick. They're down 29-0 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. That's the biggest reason they lost. Because while those defensive linemen and that front seven is so well disciplined, and they'd never stick a finger on a guy's helmet, they also wouldn't stick a finger or a hand or a shoulder pad on Dalvin Cook the whole first half as he's running roughshod over you. So that's the first point. Second point is Tomlin, who I like a lot. He challenged a play early where the best upside was 6 yards. It's one of the most irrational challenges I've ever seen. And then late, you're down 16 with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and here's your plays. Run, 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 punt on 4th and 3. Where the hell they do that at? And then, why was the Claypool mistake so glaring? Oh, because the Steelers didn't have much time. Well, why didn't they have time? Because they had the ball at midfield at the 2-minute warning. So why the hell do you have it at the 42 with 40 seconds left? What are you doing? Time was not supposed to be their problem there. They had the ball to the midfield at the 2-minute warning. So it's very easy to blame Chase Claypool because it's an obvious mental mistake. He is not the problem. The defense, when T.J. Watt isn't out there, is an abomination. At least it was yesterday. Big Ben, you don't get to have these games if you're trying to compete for the playoffs where it's like, well, he was terrible, just an abomination for 2.5 quarters, but then he was good. Well, you lost because of the first 2.5 quarters. He threw a pick early in the second half that was awful. So I agree with Broussard on the record. I think the minimum threshold to make the playoffs in the AFC is going to be 9-8. 9-8 might not get there, but that's the minimum. For the Steelers to get to their version of 9-8, which would be 9-7-1, they'd have to go 3-1 the rest of the way. They're not going 3-1 the rest of the way. They're losing to the Chiefs. And so are they going to sweep the Titans, Ravens, and Browns? I don't think so. And by the way, 9-7-1 might not get in. But that's the minimum you would have to have a chance at it. So, no, I think they're cooked. I think they're done. I think they're cooked. I don't think they're a super dangerous team. In the last month of football, they're 1-3-1, and their one win was, 3 inches from being a loss. The game we talked about on Monday against the Ravens. If Lamar's pass is this much more accurate, then the Steelers wouldn't have won a game since Halloween. So, no, I'm out. I'm ready to write them off.
But I'll tell you this, though, Nick. Wilds is right. They're dangerous. And I bet you your Chiefs know that they're dangerous. Like, you just can't take Pittsburgh lightly. They might show up and play horribly, and you might blow them out. But they also might show up and play great and give you more than you bargained for. And I'm looking forward, and this should be his last year, especially in Pittsburgh. All right, if somebody else picks him up, God bless him, but it should be his last year. But I am interested in watching Ben over these last 4 games because, like I said, he's had flashes, man. And that late against the Ravens, late last night, and I'll say it again, the late pass to Freiermuth, I mean, he was slinging it. And I'm not trying to say there's going to be a Ben renaissance. I'm not trying to say, Pittsburgh might want to consider bringing him back next year. I'm just saying I'm excited to watch it and see what Ben does over these next 4 games.
I'm not excited. Watching Big Ben is sad at this point. Yes, he has moments. But the guy, how many times yesterday did he just get lit up? And you saw in the replays, the mid-play, the look on his face. He was like the guy from Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this bleep. Danny Glover. Like, I don't know if that's Riggs or Murtaugh, whichever one it is. It ain't great. It's like, what am I still doing out here? And if we can show the Steelers wins, losses schedule again, please. Guys, they have been bad for 2 months now. So we talked about their win against the Ravens, which was more about Lamar's lack of execution. Okay, the tie the Lions. They beat the Bears on a last-second field goal, and they beat the Browns 15-10 with a fourth-quarter comeback. We're a long ways away from them being frisky, headed into the bye at 3-3. Since then, they've been a bad team. Now, could they beat the Titans? Sure, because the Titans' offense is so injured and their defense is not very good. But there is one thing to be worried about when you face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is T.J. Watt, who left that game with a groin injury, is T.J. Watt going to ruin my entire game? They have one way to win. T.J. Watt play exceptional and wreck the game. If you can triple team T.J. Watt and nobody else scares you. So, no, I am ready to write them off entirely, Broussard.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.